It's called fashionably late fuckface.
Travis Touchdown.
Travis Touchdown is back. The game that pissed off people for being way too over the top is back. It's disturbing how people in our society can't seem to deal with the idea that a legitimately good piece of video game design can also be riddled with blood and swearing as well. Did Evil Dead or Army of Darkness teach us nothing? We limit ourselves to how over the top things are allowed to be, and anything beyond that is an act of creative blasphemy. What the hell? It's not like we're talking about Drudge-like Onechan Bara here either. No More Heroes is the game we wanted to play back when we were growing up, watching Ninja Turtles, and wondering what just might happen if the foot soldiers weren't robots and they talked like us at our middle school lunch tables. No More Heroes is nostalgic, but still a breath of fresh air because it's honest in a way that's rarely ever done in games that are also fun to play. Nothing is particularly full boat original here, and you can spot the influences from things like Hokuto no Ken and Goemon if you're really paying attention, which all might have come from someplace else as well, but the way everything is pulled together here is just amazing. Kind of sadly though, No More Heroes 2 as a sequel is kind of disappointing. It feels like creator Suda51 bowed his head in a few spots and sulked away. That, or he was rushed. The world map is gone. Pulling a Tales of Symphonia, Dawn of the New World, you can no longer roam the city on your bike. When you want to go to a battle, you select its location from a menu. Was the city dull and lifeless in the original? Kind of. Does selecting your location from a map make life a whole lot easier? Perhaps. However though, I felt much less of a connection to the game once it was over. Tell me this, would Shadow of the Colossus be as memorable if you didn't have to ride your horse over to each boss battle and instead you selected ranked Colossus and were instantly transported instead? Sometimes there's more to games than just non-stop combat. In this regard, No More Heroes 2 feels slightly watered down from an experience to instead a highlight reel. Some people, I guess, might enjoy that though. Minigames are redone in a kind of interesting way. Less things cost money, which is nice, but when you do need to scrape some cash together, you collect it through NES-style games. But overall, I would consider it all at least partially novelty. Unfortunately, although this is kind of a cool concept, there is not that much depth to it all, and these minigames just aren't that exciting to play. The fighting is back with some new options this time. It's fun as hell and bloody as hell. You get to mix things up with some punching and kicking options while the different beam sabers all have their different stats. You can also plug in a classic controller this time, which is fun to play with. The game works great with either, but once I started my file on bitter difficulty, you know, the hard mode, I played pretty much exclusively with the classic controller for the upped level of precision, which was definitely necessary. No More Heroes 2 secretly shines here. You can hack and slash your way through an easier difficulty and experience the game's story and be done with it, or you can truly live the fights on a harder setting and fist pump your way to victory after each long and grueling battle when you finally get to slash your opponent back to wherever the hell it came from. No More Heroes 2 is badass where it needs to be. My second disappointment, the script. It's simply not as witty. The trailers do a good job at picking some of the best scenes, but the verbal exchanges Travis used to have with each and every boss are just not nearly as exciting, over the top, or thrilling. No More Heroes 2 is not supposed to be more refined in this regard. At least that's not what most of us wanted. Sometimes Travis doesn't even talk to the ranked assassins. He simply fights them, tells them off, and then we're done. No More Heroes 2 has much less memorable non-gameplay related moments, although compared to most other games, it is still on top of it all. No More Heroes 2 is a great hack and slash game that requires some real strategy for the bosses. What made the original No More Heroes incredible is still found in here. You get a slightly more refined gameplay experience. I really love the No More Heroes series. Travis Touchdown is still one of my favorite newer video game characters. His personality is still killer, and I anticipated watching each and every cutscene. The sequel still provides a flavor of content that you can't find anywhere else, and this is a game where after beating it, I immediately went into my second playthrough without ever turning it off. The game is still slightly rushed though, because you can feel the entire experience wanted to be just a slight bit more. If you loved the first No More Heroes though, this is definitely a game you will want to play. No More Heroes 2 Desperate Struggle for the Nintendo Wii receives an 8 out of 10.